When Zilbis rescued you from the kangaroo court of the Fomorians, he took you through the woods to Farsevere, which is this treehouse village that I described to you, and by popular demand amongst my players, we are playing amidst the beautiful sunset scene here today. We have this going for us.
Lovely.
Pretty adorable.
Personally, I don't really like the purple lighting of this scene, but I was outvoted, so oh well. And I got numbers on the map this week, which is nice.
Yeah. So what's the numbers?
Well, number one, there's two number ones. There's the room that you're all in, and there's a room over here that have stairways, stone stairways leading down into the earth. There's a cavity underneath the woods where the tree roots reach down into a cavern-esque area that the village uses primarily for stores.
Hey, Brick.
What?
Can I have GM so I can make notes and just make a note on the map that says 1 storage? Because I'm going to forget.
That is uncharacteristically proactive of you, but yeah, sure.
I'm making notes in a notepad on my desk, but
yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, this is like the 5th or 6th little town I've had numbered out like this. This is the first time anybody said, hey, let's take notes.
I've got a
This is the first time I thought of it.
Notes that text.
Okay, well,
Notes are overrated.
so this is what, the 19th session of Salute to Flumph. One of the players finally said, hey, you know what? You should take notes. But yeah, down in the stores area, they also have some very small dwelling spaces. For traveling gnomes from other villages, in this wood and in other woods as well. So they're gnome-sized dwellings, which means they're very uncomfortable for most of you.
I'm comfy.
Yeah, you're fine. So you came in through the village gate, which is down here, number 8 on the map. And within a few hours, I mean, the village is not very large, but it is pretty well populated. It's pretty packed in here. All these, like the numbered buildings here are relatively large houses. They're what, like, about 30 feet by 30 feet or so, give or take. Many of these ones that you see numbered on the map are multi-floored. Places that are not marked on the map will be smaller houses and the smaller trees. Most of them congregated in this big wooded area in the southwestern section where the gate comes in. But the gate itself, and Zilbis will explain this, is enchanted so that if you don't actually walk in from between these two guard towers, you can't exit or enter the village. It's the only way in or out. If you try to leave the village through any other area, you'll find yourself walking back in, and vice versa. If you try to enter the village from any other area, you'll find yourself walking through it like a mirage, like it's not there. These wooden planks between the trees circling the village, these are not walls. There's no wooden walls to the village. These are bridges high up in the trees that link the various trunks of the large trees surrounding the village. So number 8 here, guardsmen. Guards gnomes, I guess you'd call them. Man this enchanted gate at all times, and the guard gnomes have been the same family for X amount of generations, going back to their grandfather's time or whatever, and they call themselves the axemen. They arm themselves with hand axes and throwing axes, so if you misbehave during your time here in Farsevere, chances are they're going to ask you a question.
Oh,
Oh, that was so funny that now I have to kill myself.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Oh.
Maybe you'll understand when you're older.
No, tell me now.
Number 2 over here is the residence of Maros. Maros is the village elder, the de facto leader of the village, simply by virtue of him being the oldest gnome on the premises. In his younger years, he was an accomplished huntsman and falconer, and you learn that every forest gnome village, many of which are structured similar to this, the eldest gnome in the village takes on this leadership role, and all of these elders are in contact with Yelnas, Grand Queen of all forest gnomes. Although details about where this queen might live, or where she might keep court, or what that might be like, are not forthcoming. You get the sense that she's more of a mythological figure than an actual gnome queen sitting in a gnome castle somewhere, as hilarious as that might be.
That would be very adorable.
Number 3 here is a large building, several floors, and this particular tree is always filled with songbirds. And it's a bardic school. The main instructor, her name is Tifatina, and she is a high-level bard that instructs other gnomes in the ways of music and storytelling. So the bottom of the floor, or the bottom floor of this particular building, which is still several, like within the lowest branches of the trees, is a practice room for students where they go and practice their instruments and their singing and whatnot. The 2 middle floors are student residences, and then Tifatina herself resides on the top floor. Number 4, right in the middle of the village, there is a tree that kind of stands out. The branches of it are twisted around, and it seems like the wind blows its leaves and branches in peculiar ways. The leaves themselves, though it is, the trees mostly are green. It hasn't actually gone into autumn yet, but the leaves of this tree are all different shades and colors. All the colors of fall are represented throughout this tree. And a gnome lives here named Kelfiz, and he's the kind of gnome that the other gnomes prefer to not talk about. When you ask about him, they say that Kelfiz has a bit of tinker gnome in him, and he's kind of a weird sort. Number 5 is the Just One More Tavern. A ruckus inn up in the trees. The proprietors are Umpo and Ellis, a married gnome couple. And the drink and celebration is said to be both excellent there. And finally, number 6 back here, where the woods are getting deeper, is the Ranger's Tree. The head ranger, her name is Hella, and she lives here with her sister, Golly. And Golly is the spiritual epicenter of Farsavir. She is a high-level druid, and rather than lead the gnomes in a worship of any particular deity, Golly reveres just the sense of nature itself as a primal force. And then finally, number 7 are the open-air markets, where gnomes congregate amongst their daily life, and not much use for coin in Farsavir, but most of the gnomes find themselves in possessions of strange and peculiar things, so quite a lot of bartering goes on there.
What was the head ranger's name again?
Hella.
Maris. Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, Hella is the head ranger, Maris is the village elder.
Is that Hella with 2 L's?
Yep.
So she's Hella Ranger.
we all laugh politely.
The joke was very entertaining.
Zilbus says he's going to be in town only for one more day. He has more business to go off and attend to. And actually,
saving more adventuring parties, I presume.
Barnabas actually called him away from some important task that he was undertaking, which is very hush-hush, very secretive. He hasn't shared it with any of you, and he has to get back to it. But he's going to set out from Farsavir tomorrow morning. So he will be at your disposal, more or less, throughout the day if you need him for a particular reason.
Where does Zilbus live?
Zilbus does not live in this town. He doesn't. He's more of a nomadic. He has kind of a functioning role in a lot of different gnomish villages. So he spends a lot of time traveling between them and roaming actually out of the forests to see to business elsewhere in Tetlateus as well, which is how he came into contact with what's his name?
Cleric.
Cleric, yes. But yeah, he does not have a permanent residence in Farsavir. For the time being, he's staying down in the guest quarters with you all, where you all have been put up. So after a very uncomfortable night's rest, except for Zook, who is right at home.
Best night's sleep I've had in weeks.
The sun comes up, and I'm going to just let you guys loose on the Gnome Town and see what happens.
Khalil staggers out of his room, just kind of massaging his chest.
Yeah, they've got you guys packed in, 3 to a room.
I want to talk to Zelric, not Zelric, Zilbus, just a little bit before he splits town. I kind of want to ask him about why Cleric is so pissed off at him. but lightly, like, what'd you do to piss that guy off?
Says, Cleric, why? What have you heard?
Oh, we were up on a mountain not too long ago, and a pile of beard calling itself a gnome seemed to think that I was friends with you and got real hot at me. And I'm laughing and kind of like grinning the whole time. Like, I'm not taking this too seriously.
Contrarily, Zilbus looks like he's taking it very seriously.
Well, when I see that, I kind of change. I don't want to offend him, so I kind of take it seriously. I say, he saw me as a forest gnome, which I am, but obviously not from these forests, and did not take too kindly to me at first until I explained to him that I very much didn't know you, which was true at the time. And I don't know, I was just curious, but if you don't want to talk about it, I understand.
He says, well, Cleric is one of the peculiar sort, one of the deep gnomes you see, lives in the Underdark. I don't know why anybody would purposely live in the Underdark. So, last time I spoke to Cleric, he let me in on the latest dealings of this war that Wilgrim the Bald, one of the gnome kings of the Underdark, is waging against the Illithid armies. And my response was, you could just leave the Underdark and live in the woods. like a proper gnome would. Who wouldn't? And then you know Illithids in the woods, don't even have to deal with them out here, but he wasn't having any of it, and one thing went to another, and I might have turned his toenails purple. I had been drinking quite a bit, I admit.
I love Brick's gnome voice.
I know. It makes me somewhat ashamed that I have not put on a gnome voice for Zook this entire game. And I kind of...
It's never too late to start.
I don't think I'm that into it. And Zook kind of chuckles and says, "Purple toenails, that's a good one. I'll have to remember that." Unfortunately, I think we may have to have some dealings with this William the Bald at some point. So, do you have any, I don't know, any recommendations?
Yes, I do, in fact. I recommend you not go to the Underdark.
Fair enough. I will if I can help it, but I fear I might not be able to help it, given the path that we've been on.
Alright, so has everybody got their little marker on the screen here? So let's start out with morning actions.
Okay.
That's what I've been saying this whole time. Don't live in the Underdark.
On the topic of Wilgrim the Bald and Cleric and the war with the Illithids, Zilbus, you get the sense that he's deflecting. You get the sense that this is not a subject that he really wants to dwell on.
Right, and I don't want to offend him, so I kind of, if he doesn't want to talk about it, I kind of, like, let it go. What do I want to do for my morning action? I just want to go to the tavern. I haven't been social with gnomes in a while.
I want to go to the market.
No.
I'll do that this evening. I'm going to the market first, actually, with these guys.
I want to go to the market.
The talk of the town is the Summer Solstice Festival.
Sounds exciting.
Which is coming up in about a week. Supposed to be much drink and celebration and merriment. Good food, good gnomes, etc., etc.
Alright.
Alright, we're going to start with Orphan, just because she's at the top of the list here. So we went down to the Ranger's Tree.
Yeah.
To what intent?
To visit with, what's her name? Golly.
Okay.
The druid. because I've never met a druid before, and I'm curious about them.
Okay. Well, Hella's already gone for the day. She's up with the sun, and she and her team of rangers head out into the woods, hunting, foraging, etc. Golly's awake, tending to the nuts and berries that get gathered throughout the forest. A lot of them come here to be sorted or whatnot before they're traded away to the other gnomes of the village. And she sees you approaching, and she's not dressed in priestly vestments like the ones the priests of Osprim that you're accustomed to, or the holy men from Kiska who you met. She's dressed in what looks to you to be just like a plain tunic and trousers, and she has tree branches and leaves woven in through her hair. She looks very, very dirty. When she sees you approaching the tree, and she's down at the base of the tree, tending to her work, she sees you coming, and she squeaks like a mouse, and dives behind one of the wooden boxes that she's sorting these materials into. And then she very slowly peeks up from behind it, and you see she's shaking slightly.
I'll wave, give her a friendly wave. Hello?
And she does not respond, but she's staring at you and watching you approach her tree.
I'll introduce. Hi, hello. I'm called Horned Orphan. Are you? Have I heard her name yet?
You know,
I assume that I assume all the stuff you told her is all the stuff that we heard from what's his face,
from Zilbis and other gnomes that had come down into the stores last night. Sure.
All right. I'll say. Are you Gally?
And she pulls herself from up behind the box, and you see she's trying to compose herself at the sight of you. And she says, "Yes, I'm Golly. Can I help you? Do you need nuts, berries? You do need what do you need?"
I just wanted to chat, if that's all right with you, if you have some time.
How did you enter the woods? How did you come to be in this place?
Zilbis showed me and my companions the way. We came here last night.
What's your passive perception?
It's 12.
Ooh, okay.
We have to disappear in a minute to drug a dog.
To drug a dog?
You see that one of her... She moves her arm in such a way that one of her hands is behind her back. And you can tell she's trying to hide it from you. But she summons a shillelagh into her hand. And she's trying to do it covertly, and she's watching you very suspiciously. And what was the question?
Oh, all I said was I wanted to know if you have some time to chat.
She says, "Well, I'm very busy, just going about the morning chores. Just about to sit down to breakfast, actually. Not really much time to talk, I'm afraid."
Is there any way I can help with the chores?
Her eyes narrow a little bit. Like she's not sure what to make of you, but you definitely have horns and a tail.
These things are true.
She's, I don't know that I don't mean to offend, but I'm just rather do it myself. You might just get in my way. I mean, you've got those big clumsy claws. I mean, that's not what I meant to say. No, I'm fine by myself. I have the acolytes inside. Yeah, they'll help me with the chores. They're gonna go inside and I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Oh, I'm called Horned Orphan.
And how did you come to be in these woods? Were you summoned here?
No. I came with my companions. I think you just asked me this.
She holds her hand out in front of her, the one that's not behind her back, And you see, she casts a spell of some kind. An incantation. Doesn't have any verbal components to it. And upon the completion of the spell, she just looks more and more confusedly at you. She says, I had heard that some visitors had entered the woods, had entered the village last night, but I assumed they were visiting gnomes. I assumed they were from nearby. So
Guys, I'll be right back.
I don't understand how a creature of the hells has appeared here. A very polite creature of the hells, I may say, but nonetheless.
Well, if you have time later, I can come back and explain it to you. Yours.
She says, "Have you? You've been in the stores? You've been in the underground, the quarters there? Have you touched any of the other trees?"
No. I came. All I did so far was we came to the gate last night, and Zilbus put us up in the storage space.
Zilbus put you up, and she says, "Zilbus." She's okay. Well, I would like to extend the hospitality of Farsevere to you, but I must ask that please do not touch the trunks of any of the trees until I've had a chance to go around and consecrate them, and then they will be suitably protected from the hellish presence that you've brought here. Yes, that's, and everything will be fine. At the end of the day, everything will be fine, and then maybe we can chat.
I'll do my best to keep my hands off them.
Okay. And she's still clutching her shillelagh behind her back. What is your next move?
I'll nod at her. Then I'll see you at the end of the day. I'll do my best to keep my hands off, and I'll withdraw.
Okay. And as you move away from her, she just watches you go until you recede from her view. Where did Arik go?
The market. To market.
Okay, well, Arik is standing outside of the stores right now.
Oops.
So all four of you guys went to the market. Looks like we just got Tarin. Did he join the mumble yet?
He's in here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
He's there.
You want to come shopping?
No. Is there anything cool to do?
It's Gnome Town, so no, there's nothing cool.
We got the list of stuff on the right here.
How do you not want to go shopping in Gnome Town? That sounds amazing.
Ooh, I'll go to the horrible warlock tree.
Well, we're not sure it's a horrible warlock tree. It's just a horrible tree.
It's a tree that a tinker gnome lives in, apparently.
Oh, that seems much less awesome.
Sorry, did Orphan have to kill a person? Did she get attacked?
Yes, roll initiative.
Hellish rebuke.
I had to drug my dog.
You go check out the horrible tree,
though.
That seems like a good idea.
So a lot of you head down to the markets. And it's not a market in the truest sense of the word. It's not a market in the sense that, like, the Keyskin Bazaar was a market. It's really just a place that has been cleared away of bushes and plant life on the forest floor. A place where the gnomes can come together and congregate during the day. Some bartering does go on here. And as you all approach, you see a couple of the more mainstay gnomish vendors setting up their tables to show off their wares. And the forest provides everything that these gnomes need, clearly. They have an abundance. Every gnome in the village has their particular niche that they fill. And so this gnome gathers this particular type of wood. This gnome chops that up into firewood, etc., etc. And all of these gnomes congregate at the market at some point during the day. It's very informal and very disorganized. The lot of you are considered to be great curiosities. There are a lot of curious faces looking up at you as you pass by, coming to market. Is there anything in particular you guys are looking for?
No, just seeing what kind of curiosities they might have
Is there like
display
a farmer's market? Like a section of it? Like, can I get some gnome jam?
Gnome jam?
Yeah.
You
Is
most
jam
assuredly
from gnomes
can.
or jam
Yes.
made by gnomes?
You won't know until you eat it. But no, there's all variety of fresh fruits and vegetables that some of the gnomes that have farm plots outside of the village tend to and bring into the market. They travel around to all the various villages.
I've decided I want a jar of gnome jam.
So you're going to the market looking for a jar of jam.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
Yes,
you guys,
this is the thing I've decided.
are the four of you hanging out together, or are you going off by yourself?
We'll probably meet up. I mean, it doesn't seem like that
yeah.
big of a market.
No.
But
Yeah, I mean, we'd probably like.
we're just
be
gonna
at the
explore
market.
a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be joined at the hip particularly, but we'd be kind of mingling in the same area. I would say.
Yeah.
Like, you know when we go to Artist Alley at Dragon Con?
Right. So Zook and Eldove and Khalil are browsing the market and chatting up some of the gnomes early in the morning, and then Arik comes stomping up behind you, and he has this fevered look on his face, and he's like, "Gentlemen, I need jam. Just point me to the jam."
That is exactly how I am, by the way. Big and stompy and demanding jam.
Are you wearing your full plate and everything? Just
Yes.
okay.
Yes, I am.
Who is armed?
Khalil will be munching
Always
on an
be wearing
apple
your
that he may have left a few coppers for.
Khalil eats an apple, so he looks like even more of an asshole.
Are you're asking who is armed? Because I don't think Zook goes anywhere without his bow slung over his shoulder.
Okay, but what about the rest of you?
Khalil would,
Yeah. My glaive makes a cool
after the
walking
nonsense
stick.
of after the nonsense of Udok's village, Khalil would not go unarmed.
Okay. And you're not drawing any hostility, but there is some apprehension about these giants that have come into the city that are armed.
If Zook senses that, he would kind of not shook away from his friends, but kind of try to separate himself so he can look at stuff without having the giants behind him.
Now, in a way, the villagers regard Zook with even more curiosity than the rest of the party, because they know that humans and half-elves exist somewhere far outside of their woods. But you are clearly a forest gnome, and you belong to no clan or village that any of these people have ever heard of.
Does anyone say anything to me, or are they just sort of looking at me?
Constantly. You can't get 2 seconds to yourself without somebody asking probing questions about where you're from, or who your family is, or
Right.
would you know any of their cousins, or et cetera, et cetera.
And I think Zook would try to spend a little bit of time, not exhaustively, but he would try to explain to them that he's not from this world. He's, he doesn't know anyone from this area. To try
that explanation could not make less sense to them if you pulled out an onion.
I tell him I have a warlock friend who may pull out an onion for them. That's fine. I mean, Zook kind of takes it all in stride, so long as no one is rude or hostile.
And no, there's no hostility, just a lot of curiosity and a lot of confusions.
Right.
Arik,
Now,
Yes.
under one of the trees,
A hatch opens.
a hatch opens, a gnome pokes his head out, throws a jam grenade at you.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
It's delicious.
As it happens, one of the little old gnome ladies, a little old grandma gnome, with like a little white grandma fro, you know what I'm talking about? She has one of those.
A fro?
She does. She has an old worn red and white blanket laid out in the shade of one of the trees, and placed upon it are many masonry jars of homemade jam of all different colors.
Yes! Alright.
And you approach this gnome and you tower over her and you're decked out in your armor, your vestments, and you're holding your glaive, and you look down crazily at her.
And I bellow, "Greetings!"
She looks up, she wishes you good morning.
I would like to purchase one of your jars of jam, please.
And she shows you all the various flavors of jam she has. She says the Tagiapaya jam is particularly good this season.
Is it? How much?
She says, could really do with a couple of salmon from the river.
Oh god, we're gonna have a trading quest.
Fetch quest!
Salmon! I will see into it then.
Nate, you remember that one subquest in Suikoden where you're trying to recruit the laundry girl?
Yep.
I'm gonna have you fuckers looking for yardsticks before this is over.
So, is this gonna be more or less annoying than getting the Begoran sword?
Dude, I'm a Tempest Priest. I can handle this shit. Salmon in a lake, wherever, bring it.
You're just gonna dump a globe of water containing 30 salmon on her head.
But she does. She has several different fruits. She has, strawberry jam and boysenberry jam. Tagiapaya is not a fruit you've ever heard of in your life.
Sounds
Get the
great,
strawberry
though.
jam.
I know this because I literally just looked up on the fantasy name generator's fruit and vegetable table.
What's it
Pretty
called? I'll
amazing.
write it down.
Tagiapaya. Taggiapaya. It's a lot of syllables. I figure the more syllables it has.
Tagiapaya.
The even better it must be.
No.
I am now determined to get this Tagiapaya.
Listen,
Yeah.
be glad I didn't go
So-
further down the list of randomly generated names, or else you would be eating wood rocket jam.
Oh, that sounds amazing!
that sounds
That
amazing!
sounds even better.
I want both.
Wood rocket sounds like it would make a potent liqueur.
Now, the Tagiapaya
It sounds
jam
like
is
a
a very
disease a druid might cast on you.
looks like a very pale orange color to it. Like not quite as bright orange as like a tangerine, more of a muted shade. But you've never tried it before, and as a jam connoisseur of some renown,
I'm a jam connoisseur now. Excellent. I like where
Jam
this is headed.
aficionado.
but she says, if you don't have any fish, I'd be happy to look at what you're offering.
Well, what do I have on me? I've got gold and money, but they don't want things like that.
You don't know, maybe gnomes love shiny things. You got some silver.
I do have some silver.
Oh yeah, I'm fucking broke. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they gave all your shinies to the Kenku.
Yep.
I mean, I got a bunch back
Yeah,
in the boat.
I mean, I'll show my coin pouch, but like, hey, shiny things. But I assume that's not a thing she wants.
Yeah, that would probably be very insulting if you just jangle a coin pouch in front of this, sentient, intelligent, grown-up creature just to go, look, shinies!
Do you have any keys you can jingle at?
Jingle it like keys. Yeah.
Yeah, time to get some fish.
Okay, so you're gonna go fishing?
Yeah, that's gonna be my afternoon action. That's for sure.
All right.
Unless some of my party members have fish
You're a
on them.
Tempest Priest, it'll take you like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
As we go
and the
visit
sailor.
Yamku, go play the fishing minigame.
So I reconvene with the rest of my chums.
Well, the little old gnome lady, she introduces herself as Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, we're gonna be great friends, I think.
And you
Old
learn,
Jocelyn,
she talks at great length of her, about her kids and her grandkids and her great-grandkids and how many clans and villages her family has touched over the year, and she'll talk your ear off if you let her.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
And she seems very sweet, but if you do not get to put your fat finger in one of her jars of jam until you give her something.
Whoa! That's disgusting.
Is that a euphemism?
So, I mean, you would surmise at least that the fishing of the village, like that task, would be probably overseen by the rangers, if not literally tended to by the rangers. It would be their job to oversee it. Who the actual fishermen of the village are, you have no idea. Nor do you know where this river is.
Yeah, that's okay. Sounds like I need to go talk to some rangers on for my afternoon action.
Khalil,
Will she let me taste one of the
Yeah.
jams?
will she let you taste it? No,
I didn't think so.
absolutely not. Very, very protective of her jams and her pies. This one is.
She's got pies?
She doesn't. She's not selling pies today. She didn't bake anything this morning. Right now, she's getting rid of the jam. Would you like a pie?
Cool. Did you roll?
She will bake one for you. What sort of pie do you want?
Aww. Gnomish Crane is gonna bake him a pie.
Maybe some wood rocket pie.
Wood rocket pie.
Let's see how well I do getting things.
Okay.
So take this one step at a time.
Because she says she was planning to, bake maybe a half dozen sweet apple pies.
Oh.
But just for her and the family, you understand. But
of course, I understand completely.
If you're interested in her humble pies. She says, "What can I show you in a meat pie, Sonny?" Khalil.
Yes.
As you're browsing the wares, because Zook is trying to put some distance between you guys and him, because you're like his weird friends that he doesn't want to be seen with at the cool gnome village, apparently. And as you're browsing the wares, are you looking for anything in particular?
No, I'm just seeing what they have. See what they have spread out.
Okay. Does Khalil have any particular interest in living in a gnome village? Because that's kind of what they have on offer. Like anything that these gnomes would need to make their lives comfortable and productive. That's the kind of things you'll see here. Anything the forest can be made. Lots of little, not so much in the way of like decorative things or like trinkets or baubles like you would see in the Keyskin market, because most of these gnomes, this is their day-to-day barter. They don't have need for such things. They're trading foodstuffs and services and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
One gnome in particular, though, you see, keeps giving you the stink eye as you're perusing the wares, walking up and down, walking past the gnome market with your bow slung on your back and your longsword at your side. And he's clearly one of the Axeman brothers. He's wearing his hand axe at the side. He's not on guard duty this morning. And he's got like a gaggle of younger gnomes kind of surrounding him. And he's watching you. And every time you lock eyes with him, he gives you this look. Like he doesn't like the look of you here at all. But he doesn't approach you.
Out of the way, I don't like the look of you.
Right.
I mean, as long as he isn't bothering me, I don't have any particular desire to mix it up with the local constabulary. So,
okay,
I'll just politely nod and keep browsing.
But you're not looking for anything in particular. You don't have a hankering for jam.
No, not as much as our cleric. Kind of using this as an excuse to kind of check this out as I was heading toward the tavern mostly.
Oh, so you're gonna leave the market, head out for the tavern?
Yeah, for the afternoon.
Okay.
Just kind of checking things out before I head that way.
As you're leaving, you hear somebody call after you. Say, "Hey there! Come on back, you there!" You turn around. There's a gnome with a fat red nose. And he has 2 pipes dangling out of his mouth.
Okay.
He says, "I've never smelled anything quite like that." It's like, he says, "What can I sell you?"
Well, what are you offering?
And he stumbles up to you, and he walks with a noticeable limp.
Sounds like you've seen some action.
Action? What do you mean by action? Sonny, I haven't gotten any action since I don't know when.
I was referring more to combat. I've noticed the limp.
Combat? Good lord, I've never been in a fight in my life. Could you even imagine me with this belly? In between words, in between sentences, now that he's walked up to you, you see that he's sniffing at you every couple of seconds. And you get the sense that he likes what he's smelling.
Okay.
And he throws his hand up, introduces himself, says, "You can call me Horzif."
Horzif?
Says, "What do I call you, Sonny?"
Khalil. I've seemed to have earned the name Thunderstruck.
Khalil. What manner of name is that? Where is that from?
Keyskin. Peaskin, across the ocean.
Cross the ocean? Good lord! Why would you cross the ocean and get into combat?
I've been asking myself that for over a year now.
He says, look now, look now. He says, I want you to show me the tobacco you're carrying. He says, it's in your pouch there. I've got a good nose for this kind of thing.
I'll nod and I'll bust it out.
Was this the tobacco box and the pipe that you found at the
At the tower? Yeah.
At the tower? Okay, so it wasn't the one from Zarazak. Who has the one from Zarazak?
What's
I think that was just party loot that never actually got claimed.
Okay, so that's just sitting back at the inn or back on the ship or something. Okay.
Wait. What's Zarazak?
Zarazak is the monastery.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the stuff in the forest? I've got that.
You've got that.
Oh.
Okay. And you show it to him, and he sniffs at it. He says, "Good lord, what manner of weed is that? I've never seen anything the likes."
I picked it up. I picked it up in Dunfoss a few months back.
So you're lying to him.
No, that'd be something Khalil would have picked up in Dunfoss. Oh, or if he's talking about the box. Oh, I'll tell him I'll tell him the story of I'll briefly summarize the story of the Goblin Tower. Which means, so, hatch opened, and then a hatch opened, and then a hatch opened, and then a hatch opened. And, still got a little PTSD there for that.
Has Khalil smoked any of this tobacco? Throughout the intervening year?
Yes.
On the times when you smoked it, it had a flavor that it's impossible to place. The box itself didn't look like anything special. It definitely wasn't magical, and there's no way to identify where it came from, but the flavor was impossible to place. I don't know how much Khalil knows about smoking various forms of tobacco or whatever else he's smoking. I'm not going to judge. That's not my place. But Horzif says, yes. Okay, well, let me see what I've got here. And he opens up his own belt pouch, and he pulls out just clumps of weed and hashish and tobacco and crushed leaves of different colors. He's got them all arranged in different compartments in his pouch. He says, would you be willing to make a trade?
Certainly.
And he reaches in and he pulls out a couple pinches of bright orange, some kind of bright orange leaf. It's damp and sticky. And he offers it to you.
Certainly, and I'll make the trade.
He says, there, a pipe full of that for a pipe full of that. I'd say that's fair enough. What do you think?
Fair enough.
And he greedily accepts the tobacco that you offer him in return, and he puts it down in his little compartments. He pats it a few times, says, yes, that'll be a nice treat for later. Nice treat indeed. Pleasure making your acquaintance, Khalil. And
pleasure making yours.
The barter having been struck, he waddles away back to the marketplace and leaves you to your travels. Zook!
Yeah!
You actually succeed in getting away from your companions a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, trying to, ditch them, but I'm just trying to make a little bit of space so...
Oh, no, you ditched them.
Okay.
It's that easy.
Fair enough.
Are you looking for anything in particular in the market? Is there a particular where you're trying to find?
Non-specifically, Zook has this growing awareness that he thinks he can use magical devices now for some reason.
Okay.
Just because he's been hanging out with these mages, and he's feeling real confident about magical devices for a level or two.
So you're looking for magic items.
Yeah, he's kind of just looking in general for magic items. But other than that, just anything interesting in there. He's not thinking he's going to find a weapon or armor that's better than what he has, but magic items might be useful.
You don't find any magic items, per se. You find one gnome selling wooden trinkets that he claims are magic items. He shows you they're like little puzzle boxes and things Like, hey, look, these 2 wooden rings. They don't have a hole in them, but I can pull them apart. You find, like, that kind of stuff. Are you interested?
You know, I think Zook actually would be kind of interested in, because he's got the big sleight of hand, and I think Matt. I mean, because the other thing is he wants to just talk to gnomes.
Okay.
He's been homesick. He's just enjoying walking around and just seeing and just talking to gnomes. So if there's nothing, no wands or anything, obviously magic. If this guy's selling magic boxes and magic rings and that kind of, like, the rings that click together or whatever.
Yeah.
He'd talk to him for a little bit. Sure, he might even pick up a magic box if he had wanted it.
And this particular gnome actually would deal in coin, because obviously the little trinkets and things he's selling, the villagers here aren't going to barter for them, but he's planning to make rounds throughout the woods, out to the outskirts of the woods where there are human villages in the Duchy of Dunfoss, where he would sell them to like awe-stricken children and things.
Okay.
Every gnome you speak to inquires as to what family are you from, where do you hail from, and those kind of questions. They continue to rain down on you.
Right. And I kind of keep saying I'm not gonna try lying to any of them, so I'll tell them my family is Timbers, but it's not from this area, not from this world. This is my first time in this wood.
Well, and part of what you learn is that there are gnomish villages like this in every deep forest in Tetlateus, all over the place. So at first when you say, oh yeah, I'm from another world, they mistake you and think you're from a forest far, far away. And they respond with something like, oh, so have you seen such and such family? How is so-and-so doing these days?
Racist-ass gnomes think we all know each other? Yeah, and I just kind of say no, sorry.
So yeah, for 3 pieces of silver, he'll sell you a magic box.
Hey, Arik, can I borrow 3 pieces of silver?
Well, if you don't have silver, buddy. What else? He'll ask what else you have to offer. What else have you to trade?
I don't really have anything else that's not valuable. Everything else that I have is probably way more valuable than 3 pieces of silver.
He expresses deep interest in the colorful potions that you're carrying.
I would have to get quite a bit more to part with one of my potions of healing, because that was worth like 50 gold.
A potion of healing, you call it? What does it taste like?
It tastes like having your wounds healed.
That doesn't sound very exciting at all. I have no interest in such an item.
Tell you what, let me. I mean, unless you're interested in, some. Yeah, I really don't have anything else that I'd want to part with. I'm kind of screwed by not having my money with me. I got this banana. No, you know what? I'm going to ask Arik, do you mind if I borrow a couple pieces of gold from you? I'll pay you back when we get back to...
Well, you're not standing next to Arik. Arik's on the other side of the market.
Oh.
Drooling over about jam.
Yeah.
Ditched him.
Well, no. I'll make my way over to... I'll tell this gentleman if he doesn't mind waiting. I need to go talk to my banker.
Okay. Yeah, he'll be here, throughout the day.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead. Just a quick. What was that gentleman's name that I talked to again?
His name was. I just typed it. Where's it at? Horzif.
Just in case I need to. Horzif. Okay.
Horzif. He's a tobacco connoisseur.
Horzif. Got it. Okay.
Gold is worth 10 pieces of silver, correct?
Yes.
All right.
The nature of this puzzle box is that it's a wooden box with an opening on either side, and if you can open it in one direction and place an object in it, and you can close it and lock it, and if you open it again, the item disappears, and there's a trick to it, that it has to be opened in a particular way for the item to reemerge.
And does he show me the way that the trick works?
Absolutely not. He demonstrates that you can put an object into it, and when you open it again, it's gone. But no, he does not teach you the trick of how it works until you actually pay him.
You'll actually pay him. All right, yeah. If Arik will loan me a couple pieces of gold, and then I'll pay him a couple pieces of silver out of that. Or what was it? 3 pieces of silver?
Yeah, he wants 3 pieces of silver for it.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that, and I'll pay you back when we get back to whatever to the village. When
So what are you doing this afternoon, Zook?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking about going to the tavern and chatting. Why? Do you have something in mind?
We should go fishing.
Were you going to go speak to the rangers first?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I was interested in speaking to the rangers at some point. So yes, I will. For your gold, I will help you get some fish.
Cool.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so you're going to purchase this puzzle box?
I am, and then I want him to. Now, will he show me after I purchase it how it works, or do I need to figure it out?
He doesn't show you how the actual mechanism works. He just shows you the trick to opening it to retrieve your item.
Oh, that's fine.
Because he's telling you it's magic. He's telling you it's a magic box.
Right. But
It's got a great sorcery placed upon it. But it's very clearly a mechanical trick.
And I'm assuming with Zook's sleight of hand, it's no problem at all for him to repeat the trick over and over again.
Yeah, no, it's no problem at all.
How big of an object can I put into this box?
It's not very big. I would say maybe the largest item you could place in this box would be something about the size of Zook's fists. So, small pile of coins or a wad of tobacco or an egg or something like that.
Could I fit my amulet of invisibility in it?
Yeah, that'll fit.
How would you know if you opened it correctly?
Well, I would see the chain. It's still on the chain. Oh, I did not mean to put that in my
It's
coin.
on the chain, but it's off the hook.
Alright, I'm not putting anything in it just yet, but that seems like it could be fun to have a little secretive box.
Okay. I do. Oh, by the way, I was supposed to say this at the beginning of the session, but I forgot. I need everybody to add another inventory spot for the things that you're storing at the inn of the Blue Wormling. Everything you guys have back at your duchy.
I'm going to change this category for Footlocker back to that then.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't have anything left in my footlocker. I'll probably actually transfer the library next time I get a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just assuming my footlocker was at the inn now.
Tarin.
Actually, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna split my difference. So I will have a separate field.
Yes.
You went to the horrible Warlock tree.
Sounds awesome.
Now, like I described this tree. What? Who's talking? Who's talking? Who said that?
I said be right back.
Okay. It's coming up on the summer solstice. The summer solstice festival in this village will be about a week from today. And so all the trees are green except the one that you've approached, which has leaves of all colors. All of the colors of autumn and winter are represented in this tree. And you notice walking up to it, the branches twist in a weird way, and the wind doesn't seem to interact with this tree like it does with the rest of them. So you walk up, and a rope ladder hangs down the trunk of the tree, leading up to a trapdoor that would give you entrance to the residence high above. Another smaller rope hangs next to it, attached to a bell at the top.
I'll ring the bell.
You ring the bell, and it tinkles somewhat. And eventually the trapdoor overhead opens, and a gnome peers out. And he's not wearing anything that you can see. You can see him from about the nipples up. And his face is twisted up into a scowl. He has no facial hair. Barely any hair on his head. What hair he does have is scraggly and just very wispy and bright red.